there's a surgeon from Gaza who was tortured to death by the Israelis. They kidnapped him in January. He was working at Al-Auda hospital, and they tortured him for 4 months, and he finally gave in, rather gave out, and passed away a few days ago. Okay, he's a very brilliant surgeon. Okay, Dr. Adnan Al-Bursh, a very, very renowned surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, and he was trained in England at King's College London at KCL. So, you know, this is, again, it's very disturbing to see this news, because it's like, even I was trying to come up with a word. I was trying to come up with a word to describe this, because the Israelis target doctors, you understand? And iatro is the ancient Greek word for doctor or healer. Now, when you say iatrocide, it already has a meaning. It means that a patient died at the hands of a doctor, right? But that's not what we're trying to describe here. I'm trying to repurpose the word. I'm trying to take that word and give it a new meaning, which is what Israel is doing, which is to attack and kill doctors, specifically targeting doctors. And this is not a trend. It's a matter of policy with the Israelis. You have doctors in Gaza, when they finish work, do you know what they do? They don't walk out of the hospital in their scrubs, proud that they're doctors. They literally have to take off all of the scrubs, the clothes that they're wearing in the hospital, okay? Gowns, etc. They take off the clothes and put on normal civilian clothes, so the Israelis don't see them and target them, because they're doctors. You understand? So they have to hide the fact that they are healers from the Israelis, lest they murder them. And so this man was killed, and you know, you would think that the university that trained him would care. You would think that the education establishment in England would care, just for the fact that this man was trained in England, just for that, you know? Forget he's a Palestinian. We don't care about Palestinians. He's alumni. Do we care that he was tortured to death? No, nothing. He's not a human being. He's not a doctor. He's not a Palestinian. Like, every single thing that gives him value is discarded, right? Because we don't upset the Israelis that tortured him, right? So we allow torture. And so his friend is also a doctor, Ghassan Abu Sitta. And here it gets better. His friend Ghassan Abu Sitta was going to Germany to talk at an event for Palestinians, and he finds out that when he gets to the passport control that he's banned from entering Germany. And they lied to him. They told him he's banned for entering for 1 month, for the month of April, okay? So the next month, it's May, and he tries to go to France to the Senate, because he's been invited by the Green Party in the Senate to testify about what he has seen in Gaza as a doctor, as a surgeon. And he gets to the passport control, to the customs, and he finds out he's been banned for 1 year from entering the Schengen zone in Europe. So he can't go to France, he can't go to Austria, he can't go to Germany. Banned for 1 year. For what? Well, we all know why. Because the Israelis control Germany. The Zionist interests control Germany, especially Germany, in addition to the UK. These are the two places in Europe where they exert the most control, and they want to stop him from talking about what Israel has done in Gaza. I showed you just a few minutes ago this doctor who extracted a battery from a child who was starving to death, okay? This is one story. There are tons and tons and tons of these horrific events. This is nothing compared to what these people have witnessed, you know, operating on children whose limbs have been blown off, you know, just the worst stuff imaginable. So they banned him, right? And then they tweet this stuff. So the German Foreign Office then say, a free and diverse press landscape is the cornerstone of every liberal democracy. In times of conflict, especially, it is crucial to protect the freedom of the press. It is of crucial importance to protect the freedom of the press. The decision of the Israeli authorities to shut down Al Jazeera in Israel is the wrong signal. So he said, when your hypocrisy reaches psychotic levels, total dissonance in the official German brain. Yes. So they talk about how bad it is to ban Al Jazeera while they are banning a doctor from speaking in the French Senate in a different country. Wow. So this is when he tweeted, I'm at Charles de Gaulle Airport. They are preventing me from entering France. I'm supposed to speak at the French Senate today. They say the Germans put a 1-year ban on my entry to Europe. So do you know what happens next? They not only humiliated him by muzzling him like a dog and dehumanizing him, but on top of that, they march him with a bunch of guards to a holding cell inside the airport. And then he has to talk to the French Senate through his lawyer's video camera on his phone, excuse me. So he does a video call through his lawyer's phone inside the jail cell, inside the airport. Let me repeat that. They ban him from entering France. He's marched to a prison cell in the airport, and he's given his lawyer's phone, and that is the only way he's able to speak to the Senate. And on top of that, they had to fight. They had to get a bunch of lawyers to fight the Home Office just for even have him speak for something that was already scheduled weeks before. This is what it looked like. You see that? So, they say here, grâce à la mobilisation d'avocats, nous avons pu obtenir un lien en visioconférence avec Ghassan Abu Sitta. So, you know, thanks to a team of lawyers essentially helping out. That's the only way. Otherwise, that's it, deportation. And they deported him. So afterwards, they marched him to, I think they transferred him from, I don't know if they transferred him to another airport, doesn't matter, but they deported him back to England, essentially, right? And keep in mind, this guy teaches at Glasgow University. He's a top doctor, you know? He's a top doctor. Just scandalous, honestly, scandalous. So this is in The Guardian, right? And the headline says, Gaza war surgeon feels criminalized after being denied entry to France. You know, honestly, I would have chosen a different title. I would have said, Israelis pressure German government to ban Gaza doctor from testifying, because that's what happened. That's the truth. That is the headline. So he was stripped of his possessions, taken to a holding cell, and deported to the UK. During October and November 2023, at the beginning of Israel's war in Gaza, which has since killed more than 34,000 Palestinians, Abu Sitta operated from Al-Shifa and Al-Ahli hospitals. During his 43 days, he described witnessing a massacre unfold in Gaza and the use of white phosphorus munitions, which Israel has denied. Israel can go to hell. Abu Sitta has since provided evidence to Scotland Yard and the International Criminal Court, ICC, in The Hague. So Scotland Yard is the... well, it's the police in England, right? So investigate criminal matters. So he's testified and provided evidence to both the UK police, so in London, and also to ICC. I know for some people it might be confusing. It says Scotland Yard. Why is it in London? It just is, okay? So in any case, he intends to challenge his ban in the German courts and is considering going to the European Court of Human Rights. It is clear to us that there is an organized, this is from his lawyer, it is clear to us that there's an organized attempt to discredit medical witnesses, and in particular, Professor Ghassan, from providing details about the consequences of Israel's military action in Gaza. So, Abu Sitta said, the only reason the Germans would want a European-wide ban is to stop me from getting to The Hague. You understand now? It's not just the Senate in France. They don't want him to get to The Hague physically. It communicates to me the complete complicity of the German government in the genocidal war. There you go. So we have reached this stage a long time ago, to be honest, but we reached the stage where they are scared of a doctor because the doctor treated patients who are victims of Israel's war crimes. And the doctor happens to be British and can travel in Europe. So they get European countries to ban him. I mean, I've never seen such vicious shit in my life, really. I know it seems so simple compared to like what the things they're doing in Gaza, but it's not. It's all connected. It's all connected. This shows you how tiny and scared and weak and pathetic and scrawny the Israelis are. They will never be more than a bunch of fucking murderers. And they're so afraid of people finding out they have to even humiliate a doctor, just a fucking doctor from giving testimony, giving evidence. That's how pathetic they are. That's how scrawny they are. Forgive me, just one correction. I want to say this was the statement over here. This was from the director of the International Center of Justice for Palestinians. Okay, just this quote right there. And again, I couldn't agree more, you know? This is an organized attempt to discredit medical witnesses, and in particular, Professor Ghassan, from providing details about the consequences of Israel's military action in Gaza. There's a German journalist who goes up to the government, basically the equivalent of the German Home Office, and they asked him, why did you ban this doctor from coming into Germany, and then why did you give him a European-wide ban so he can't go into France? And I'll have the video translated afterwards so you can see it, right? I'll translate it from German to English. It's actually from Florian. He's the one who went and asked the question. So, yeah, I'll have it up here with his name, and he basically exposes them. Yeah, Florian Warwick. So he exposes how stupid they are and malevolent, because they can't answer the question. The question is like, why did you do this? And they say, well, you know, you shouldn't ask us. You should maybe ask those authorities. And it's like playing ping pong with someone, you know. You just like sending them back and forth to authorities. It's such German bureaucracy. You know what I mean? And they love bureaucracy. Speaking of Al-Shifa Hospital, where these doctors have both worked, they just discovered another mass grave at Al-Shifa Hospital. So I've lost count, and you'll forgive me. I don't know whether this is the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth. I mean, it might be even more in the future, right? But this is definitely not the first mass grave discovered, and definitely not the first at Al-Shifa. So at least 50 people discovered in this grave. Really, just, you know, it's like you don't finish. You know, you finish with one atrocity, and then you barely have time to reel from that before you're hit with another one. You know. Again, YouTube demonetized my channel because I'm not allowed to say naughty things about Israel. You know, telling the truth is forbidden. So if you are able to donate a few dollars on PayPal or on a monthly basis on Patreon, please consider doing it, because it would really help me continue my journalism and support independent media. So I'd be very grateful. And the links are in the description and also in the chat. Thank you guys very much again for all your donations and all your kind comments. I appreciate it very much.